We're back with Independent Senator Angus King. He joins us from Brunswick, Maine. Senator, will you vote for or against Judge Neil Gorsuch?
I haven't decided yet, John. To be honest, I've focused almost exclusively over the last couple of weeks on the Russia matter. I went to a part of Neil Gorsuch's hearings. I've met with him. I've read a number of his opinions, done a lot of homework, but I'm not making a decision until next week. There were some written questions one of my colleagues submitted on my behalf. I want to review his answers to those. So that matter isn't going to really come to the Senate floor probably till the end of the week, and I'll be announcing my position probably sometime Tuesday or Wednesday.
And just quickly on the matter of the filibuster, where are you? Do you have a philosophical view about whether Senate Democrats should filibuster a Supreme Court nominee?
Well, you know, I heard what John Cornyn, my friend John Cornyn, just said. Last year, Merrick Garland was subjected to what I would call the granddaddy of all filibusters, not even allowed to have a hearing, much less a vote, went on for something like 11 months. And so, you know, there's plenty of, you can argue this in both directions. I think I've had to take something like 400 cloture votes since I've been in the Senate for the past 4.5 years, and they've been on all manner of big and small things. So the idea of a 60-vote requirement for a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court doesn't strike me as out of line with Senate tradition.
Heidi Heitkamp said 2 wrongs don't make a right, though. Democrat who is supporting Neil Gorsuch and is not supporting the filibuster. So why do 2 wrongs make a right if filibuster's okay in this case because Republicans did?
I'm not suggesting that 2 wrongs do make a right. What I'm suggesting is that I think the 60-vote margin requires some level of bipartisanship, and whether it's on legislation or on a major appointment like this, that isn't bad for the country, that you have to have people and ideas that have some level of buy-in from both parties. So, as I say, I haven't made my final decision on this, and I will later in the week.
Let me ask you about intelligence. Do you think that there should be a thorough investigation of this question of unmasking by Obama officials of people in the Trump campaign?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's part of it, but I think, you know, that really obscures the much, much larger issue of what did the Russians do in our campaign? How did they do it? Was there a relationship with one or the other of the campaigns? What were they doing in state election procedures? This is a huge challenge to our democracy. And the important point, John, is this isn't a one-off. It just wasn't 2016. We're going to see this in 2018, 2020, and going forward. We have to figure out how to counter it because this is going to keep up, and it's going to be a real problem for our open political system.
But it is important, though, you would agree, if somebody's caught in surveillance, they're not supposed to be a part of that surveillance. If they are exposed and then through leaks made public because somebody doesn't like the way an election turned out.
Sure. No, I don't disagree with that. They're supposed to be minimized in terms of the finding out whose name is available. So, you know, we'll have to pursue that, but I just don't think that is the major issue that we've got here, which is Vladimir Putin trying to mess up and get involved in influencing our elections, because they're going to try to do it again.
Final question on this, Senator, is that you said that the Senate committee wants to, quote, avoid some of the infighting that you've seen on the other side, meaning the House. Do you think what's happened with the House committee has affected the overall ability of Americans to see a bipartisan final decision on these important questions?
Well, I think people saw last week the disunity in the House, but then they also, on the other hand, saw the true nonpartisan approach to this in the Senate committee. The joint press conference of Richard Burr, Republican, and Mark Warner, Democrat vice chair, was really, I think, reassuring. That's what I'm hearing up here in Maine. People really like seeing the idea that these Senator, are two leaders of their parties who are working together to find a solution.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there, Senator, and we'll be back in a moment.